Welcome to another episode of Port Charles Chat. I'm Mom.
And I'm Brandon.
Thank you so much for joining again today. Brandon, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Mom. How are you doing?
I am doing fine, and hopefully our viewing audience is doing fine too. We're going to get ready to get started and talk a little bit about Port Charles. We're going to talk about the week of May 12th through the 16th. Let's start off with Dante. Dante is still mad. And just so everyone knows, the date of this recording is on May 19th. Dante is still mad at Gio, and this is in regards to Rocco being found drunk at the beach. Rocco has at this point in time just apologized to everyone. He's very sorry for everything that has occurred. However, that doesn't help Dante. He's still upset. And on another front, Lulu has guessed that Gio is Brooklyn's son, and then Cody and Lulu kind of talk about this. Curtis has figured out that Drew is blackmailing Portia, and then he calls Drew into his office. Kai thinks he's well enough to leave the hospital. Stella does let him know later that he's not yet ready to leave. Alexis asks Spinelli to find Rick's car. Spinelli does a little research, and then he finds out the car was taken to a storage garage. Alexis arrives at the garage, and the car is not there. Instead, she finds a note. But oddly enough, Lucky is there. And Lucky has the same idea as Alexis, and he actually goes to the garage also. Then they both talk a little bit, and they both realize that Kristina was the reason for all of this, and that Kristina knew that the brakes were broken. And rehearsals have begun for the nurses' ball. The custody court case is coming up soon, and this is between Michael and Willow in regards to their children. Carly doesn't want to include Michael in any decision making because Michael's still under treatment, and to the best of their knowledge, is not able to travel, and so Carly says she's going to handle it from everything on her side, and she believes that everything will be better, and the children will eventually be with her. Jocelyn is hired as the assistant to Professor Dalton, and Emma is not happy at all. Jocelyn and Vaughn explore Dalton's office while the professor is out. Jocelyn thinks that it's better to search the lab and not the office because they didn't see anything in the office when they looked around. Tracy wants Jason to find Brooklyn's son, but however, he does not agree to do so. Dante is a little suspicious of Kristina in regards to Rick's car. And then Sonny is thinking about selling his peers to Sidwell. And Brandon, that is everything I have that happened this week. Do you have anything to add, or did I leave anything out?
For the most part, I think that is the gist of things.
All right, sounds good. Let's get to the fun things. Performer of the week. All right, I had two for this. First of all, I had Gio because I kind of like the way they're developing his character, and I like that he has a little bit of spitfire in him. And so Gio for me this week. Then oddly enough, Drew, because I don't like him, so he must be doing something right. So I'm thinking that Drew is another performer of the week for me. All right, Brandon, what do you have for your performance of the week?
Well, Mom, I completely agree, and for mine, I chose Gio.
All righty, sounds good, Brandon. All righty, let's talk about our amusing scenes of the week. This week, the amusing scenes to me were not very overt. I thought it was just, you kind of had to catch them as they were talking. And so Tracy and Drew kind of had a weirdly odd conversation, but yet it made me giggle at some points. So for amusing scenes, Tracy and Drew. And then Alexis and Spinelli. Okay, that one was overt. Alexis and Spinelli together working, that is great. Lucas and Liz had a good conversation also that was kind of amusing. And then we had Rick and Alexis because they're sparring together is really kind of funny. So I like their scenes. Brandon, what about you? What were your amusing scenes of the week?
Well, I certainly loved all of those, and I liked the little remark from Elizabeth to Lucas and regarding, it's like, oh, well, did it interrupt anything sexy between, you and Lucky? It's like, no, but I did have an encounter with Rick's new car.
Yes, yeah, that was funny.
But in
All
terms,
right, then Go ahead.
But in terms of the one I was thinking about for this week, I'd have to say it was actually Brooklyn and Geo at the coffee shop when the coffee owner mispronounced their names as Brookline and Gaio.
Yes, that was actually funny, Brandon. That's a good one. Alrighty, and let's talk about our heartfelt moments of the week. I really liked the conversation that Portia and Ava had. I It's surprising, but Ava, I believe, was a good friend at that point. So, so I liked their conversation, and then I liked the conversation that Sunny and Geo had. All right, Brandon, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely really liked. I mean, the those conversations that they had. Although the first thing I thought about, admittedly, when you mentioned the whole thing with Ava and Portia, was Ava telling Portia, "Well, you know, no one is following for Drew's act except for that poor deluded Willow."
Yeah, that was funny too. That really was. All right, what about heartfelt moments for you?
Yeah, in terms of heartfelt moments, I'm actually going to even say Alexis and Lucky, just because they had that sort of moment where they're trying to process everything and figure things out, and so I kind of like that because we don't usually see that sort of banter with them. I don't know if I've ever actually seen them interact.
You know what, Brandon? Now that you say that, I don't recall either. So, but yeah, they did have a nice conversation there. And then as for fast forward moments of the week for me, that would be Kai. He, you know, yeah, he was still at the hospital, but that's about it for him. So his conversation that he had with Stella not necessary. So for me, that was fast forward. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, it'd also be Kai. I mean, I don't know where exactly they're going with this. I mean, we had the whole thing of he's football. Football is his life. He only does football to, he got injured. It's time to move on with Trina. But then now he can have this big surgery, potentially get football, but lots of risk for complications. And it seems no complications at all. And so now what? What are we doing here?
Yeah, that is a good question. I have wondered that myself. And then for the welcome back, Spinelli. I did miss him. Did you have a welcome back, Brandon?
I feel like we had another one too. I just don't remember who that was.
All right. And then where are they? I've got Martin, Olivia, and Ned. All missing. How about you?
Yeah, they're definitely all missing, and yeah, I mean, I knew Martin was going to be gone for a while. I don't know. I didn't expect him to be gone this long, so I wonder how long they're going to keep this idea of repeatedly rotating lawyers.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sure Marco will be in the mix pretty soon. And then as for goodbye, we say goodbye to Jacinda. The only one that's going to miss her is going to be Boyle. All right, Brandon, did you did you have a goodbye this week?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that Councilman Boyle was so insistent on trying to figure out where Jacinda went.
Yeah. And then as for next week, I'm looking forward to seeing Nina and Carly. I saw the previews, so watching their fight should be rather interesting. I'm going to see who actually wins the fight. Let's see, Alexis and Ava. In regards to the missing car, just because they're blackmailing that Ava's blackmailing Alexis, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when they realize that the car really is missing. And then, well, sort of. And then we've got the nurses' ball, and the nurses' ball is next week. So I look forward to seeing that. All right, Brandon, what about you?
Okay, this sounds interesting, but I'm actually looking forward to Rick this week.
Okay, and why is that? Why is that?
I feel like Rick is having one of those moments where, like, that I'm sure that he doesn't like, where his conscience is actually getting to him. Like, he's not 100% going to shift away from Ava by any means necessary, or even like 1% for that matter. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to figure out a way to at least not hurt Molly in the process of whatever. And so we never did find out what exactly Rick wanted when he went to go see Alexis. So I'm curious as to what that may be, and if we're going to get a Molly storyline at any point within this upcoming week, or I guess this week.
Yeah, I hope we do get a Molly storyline. And I guess she was missing last week, so where is Molly? Let's see. For me, it would be Nina's Carly, because I saw the scenes that were supposed to come up, and that should be interesting to watch. And then Alexis and Ava, in regards to the missing car and whether or not Ava's going to continue blackmailing Alexis or what they're going to do about this. And then the nurse's ball is coming up. And so, you know, we've got to watch it. So, all right, Brandon. Anything else you're looking forward to for coming up for the following week?
I did want to ask. So I know we were speaking a bit offline, and we had some theories as to someone who may show up at the nurses' ball.
Yeah, we did have some theories. I'll share mine, then you share yours. I was thinking it might be Blaze, because they were in a musical number and they were very secretive, and so I'm thinking that Blaze would be a good one to come back, even if it's just a temporary thing for a couple episodes. What about you, Bran?
I'd love to see Blaze come back. I mean, I think that'd be like a perfect opportunity to do so. And I think I don't know how long exactly they are recording in advance, but I think the timeline would match up since we did see that one Instagram picture with Blaze, Natalia, and Marco all together, which we haven't seen Natalia in a bit. Come to think of it,
Yeah. Oh, we haven't. Oh, so where's Natalia? So yes. All right, Brandon. Anything else you would like to discuss with Port Charles this week?
yeah. I mean, I just overall, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen at this nurses' ball. Now, I could easily see them per se like adding a Michael or a new Michael back in. I did see the preview saying that someone was going to crash the ball. Question is, who is it? And I just hope that whatever they do, that they don't per se rush it. I'd like it to be like a true, genuine surprise. And I think the Geo revelation will happen during the Nurses Ball. That's my gut feeling.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to happen there too. I mean, everyone in town seems to know it except for Geo. So, I mean, I think I can see that happen during the nurses' ball. All right. Well, let us know what your thoughts are and what do you think the big revelation is going to be during the nurses' ball itself. All right, everybody, we thank you for watching today,
Yeah, we definitely do.
and we'll see you next
Have a
time.
wonderful day.
All right, bye bye, everybody.